What's up, guys? Nate back with another video. This time a twofer for this week, even though usually I'm trying to go with about one video a week. But today was a big day. We had big reveals from Gen Con from Disney Lorcana today. They went over some Fabled stuff, some Whispers stuff. I'm just going to go over the Fabled stuff that I saw today. Notably, we will not be doing unofficial leaks for this video. Just cards that I've seen officially put out there / seen on there's one set that's from a pre-order thing. So the first thing we're going to go over is this holy crappin' beautiful playmat for set champs. If you thought set champs were sweaty before, it is about to get wild up in here. Looking at this gorgeous Maleficent playmat here. I love the champion letters in purple here. It's got the Fabled sign down here. The promo itself, very gorgeous. I love the flames and stuff. Just awesome reprint of a card. Very excited for set champs. On top of that, this is where we get some actual value out of the participation promo. I know that we all would really love a runner-up mat. I mean, look at this mat right here and tell me you wouldn't want a runner-up mat that doesn't even say champion on it.
I need it
for this mat. I mean, oh my god, this is incredible. But at least we're getting a very solid card as a participation promo, which is a lot better than where we've been at before. So actually very excited for Fabled set champs. We'll have to see how those go. I think they're gonna be in a Disney Lorcana sense a little bit of a bloodbath, right? We're gonna see people there won't be as much jank at your set champs playing for these, expect things to go crazy a little bit. So we're excited about that. So let's get into some of the card reveals, because that's where the real excitement is for the spoiler season. So first off, we got to mention the iconic cards. We were spoiled that we're going to get a couple new rarities, iconic and epic. Iconic is the step above enchanted. These are going to be crazy sought after. I assume if they are unplayable as cards, you're probably looking close to $300 for these. But we got some effects on these cards now. Before we just got spoiled what the rarity is going to be, now we have actual text to put to the card. So the first one, as a Ruby Amethyst enjoyer, I had to note this Mickey right here. This card is a 3-cost, 2/2 evasive Mickey, Brave Little Prince, kind of referencing Brave Little Tailor, which we'll get to back in a second here. He is got shift 5, which is kind of interesting because in Lorcana we have not had a card that actually shifts for more than its normal cost. So he's a little bit of a mech suit in a way, because as we'll see here, you shift him onto another Mickey, and while this card has a card beneath it, you get +3 strength, +3 willpower, and +3 lore. So you guys will recognize that he kind of goes from the Brave Little Prince up to the Brave Little Tailor. Very nice callback for them there. This card right here, quite strong possibly, especially if, you shift it on top of the Steel Mickey, the 1-drop Mickey. That could be quite a strong synergy for Red Steel, actually. But even just I don't know, I could see a world where if the format gets slow enough, you could have 4 of these in your deck and just rely on shifting onto each other. That could be kind of slow for maybe a Ruby Amethyst game plan, but we don't know what that's going to look like in the future. The meta is going to change with rotation, obviously. So now moving on to Minnie, who is a card we did not see much of. She is going to be a 4-cost Minnie Mouse Sweetheart Princess is the subtext below the card name. She is a 2/4. She quests for 2. And then she has 2 abilities. She says your character's name Mickey Mouse gains support, and then whenever this character quests, you may banish chosen exerted character with 5 or more strength. So one of the biggest things you were able to do with the support ability is not just boost up your own character's strength, but you actually can boost up your opponent's thing. Not to say that this Minnie is particularly the most meta-friendly card I've seen in my life. I don't know that you'll be interested in playing with her, especially the iconic version, right? You might just kind of put it up on your shelf. But we have a precedent for this. We've seen people play the World's Greatest Criminal Mind. We've seen people play I believe it's Mickey Mouse, who is a musketeer who blows up things that are bigger. So there are different kinds of options here for this card. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if there's any validity to this type of strategy. But these obviously collectibles, I have a person who plays with my enchanteds. I've been known to do that before. But I don't know that you'll see me sleeve up an iconic in a tournament anytime soon. They probably get sold a little bit quicker than my enchanteds do. So it'll be very interesting to see how these go. So next we had a spoiler for the collection quest, which is something that is coming to California Adventure. It looks like it seems like it's going to be more of an exclusive promo thing. But something I found very interesting about this, other than the fact that this bell here is actually very gorgeous as a promo. Oh my gosh, dude! I can't believe what we're getting with this. But this card has a little set 9 symbol down here if you pay close attention, actually. So the big thing that we know is Bell Accomplished Mystic is going to be reprinted, and I think that this is a great reprint. I think she's not too ungodly powerful. Now the big thing here is for Blurple, that would mean that a lot of their cards are getting reprinted or making it through rotation, so Blurple is going to be quite strong. Now, here's the biggest piece. I really hope that with them reprinting this card that they don't reprint Popsicle, because being able to still turn 1 Bell and draw a card is pretty insane. There is a card, I believe it's called Retro Sphere, that does let you still turn 1 a Bell if you need to, but it doesn't draw a card the way that Popsicle does. Popsicle is just way too efficient at what it does. So I am excited about this Bell because I'm a big Amethyst player. I love playing different Amethyst decks. It does, like I said, concern me a little bit for how strong the Blurple decks will be going into the future here, so we will have to see. But very exciting product thing. Obviously, if you or somebody can go to California Adventure, you're going to want to pick this up, I assume. Next, we got the reveal of what our league promos are going to look like. And here was something I was just very excited about. As somebody who does like to go to our locals, our weekly leagues, sometimes it can feel a little rough to go and get a card that's kind of unplayable. I probably have a stack of Perditas or whatever from this last set that is just not getting touched anytime soon. They're nice to have as a collectible, but they're not seeing any play. So as we can see, cards that are making it past rotation, the big ones being Curse Merfolk, Strength of a Raging Fire, and Sisu here, all very great cards to have as league promos. Strength of a Raging Fire, I heard stories about them getting up to about $20 a piece for some people. This is a great reprint and a great card to have as a league promo. So one of the things you can do is you reward people for going to your league. Now you don't just have to play whatever jank you have. You can go, all right, Strength of a Raging Fire, very widely played card, very good to add to my deck and be able to play. This is a great way, and having all 3 of these cards, great way to introduce players who play at your leagues to very strong cards in an effective manner. So I love this choice. Makes them collectible, obviously, because they're promos. Curse Merfolk, little bit sketchy for me, only that I know a lot of people love Curse Merfolk. My big thing with this card is I already feel like the format is going to be so ungodly aggressive in the beginning. And the green-yellow aggro decks, I feel like they didn't need much more help, but now they've got it, right? They are going to be juiced up with 1-drops that can quest for 2 still. Little Sisu, probably the lowest impacting card of these cards. Now, granted, you still get to go Sapphire Coil into Sisu Daring Visitor here, but you don't have a big Sisu to shift on it. We know that Maleficent Dragon is the legendary reprint for red. We can make that assumption that each color gets its own reprint. So there's not going to be a big Sisu to shift on top of the Sisu. So it'll be really interesting to see if this card actually sees any sort of play, or if we're just kind of looking at a card that hey, it's a brawl with your Sapphire Coils here. Still could do some work for certain, but definitely less individually powerful than these 2 cards right here. So we'll see how these go, but I'm excited to have more reasons to play League personally. Next, we got a couple more promos for different things. This one is for pre-release event, this Queen right here, who is a new card. She says, 3 cost, 2/4, support, quest for 1, and at the start of your turn, you may choose and discard a princess or queen character card to return a character card from your discard to your hand. Kind of an interesting take on what queens or princesses can do. We've had some queen and princess synergy in the past with cards like Queen Center Core. It'll be really interesting to see if this card can do anything. Um, Not a bad body though. 3 cost, 2/4 support. Not horrible in the world. Obviously, you'd love to see bigger stats to be more comfortable playing it, but definitely could see a world where if there's some sort of good synergy here, I could see us playing some of the Queen Conceited Ruler is what we have here. Next is your buy a box promo. So if you buy a box, you're going to get this card for free with it. This is a 4 cost, 2/3 Alex Accidentally Adrift. And her abilities are when you play this character, you may put chosen item into its player's inkwell face down and exerted. And whenever this character quests chosen opposing character gets -2 strength this turn, she quests for 2. Kind of a low impact effect, individually speaking, for a 4 cost card. I would like to see that if this was 3, I think we'd be cooking with this card a little bit here. 4, she's very much so like your tech answer to if an items deck becomes a problem in the meta again. Obviously, we've seen red-blue items in our current meta do quite well. So this card would be decent in our current meta. It'll be really interesting though if they reprint some high impact items. Please do not reprint Popsicle. As I have stated earlier in this video, I do not want to see Popsicle come back. And it wouldn't even be that great to ink a Popsicle, apparently. But she does give redundancy to like your Sapphire Coil effects, and she's an inkable card, so that could be very interesting there. Although not a whole lot to talk about here, but these are your buy a box and pre-release event promos, which are pretty interesting. The next one, big exciting one here, we have Powerline, World's Greatest Rockstar, 6 cost, 6/4, quite a beefy body already. He has shift 4, so we'll see what shift targets we get in the future for this guy. And then he has Singer 9, which is the biggest singer that we've ever seen in the game. So he's singing anything you need. You be prepared, you got it. That's the biggest card I can think of right this moment. That 8 cost one from the last set. Yeah, you got it. You can sing just about anything with Powerline. His ability mashup, once during your turn, whenever this character sings a song, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a song card with 9 cost or less and play it for free. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. This card is sick. Very exciting, very interesting. Here's the only thing. If we assume that this is like Ariel, I'm going to be rearranging the bottom 4 cards of my deck all of the dang time. That's how this game works for me. Anyways, no, the very cool thing here is the first instinct that I had was you can definitely sing like something like Down in New Orleans with this to go find another power line or find your shark. And so then this is a very formidable stat line as it is. 6 cost, 6/4, that quest for 2 is quite strong and then gives you big upside whenever you sing something. It doesn't take a lot for like a red blue songs type deck to exist, especially given if we get some good solid reprints. You know, I would love to see a Pirate's Life reprint. That's me being a little bit greedy. But you can still sing Down in New Orleans, All Is Found, and I'm sure something else like maybe that 8 cost song that Reddy's Characters or something. There's options with this guy, and he's an exciting, explosive Disney Lorcana card, so I'll be very interested to see what this guy can do. Worth noting, for a fun and exciting card, this is actually going to be a starter deck card. We did see that in the past, that this is going to be one of the starter deck cards, which I find good for the game in general. I like it when strong cards are accessible, because that means that your average player who maybe they don't look at every video on how the meta is shaping up or like watch every big tournament, they have access to good cards. They can start to piece together like, oh, I can do this synergy or that synergy. That's really good for a game to have, in my opinion. So very much so like the whole existence of this card. He really is the world's greatest rock star, and I'm excited to see what he can do in our future meta post-rotation. Of course, they gave us Eye to Eye, which is the classic song that they sing in the Goofy movie. I know a lot of people were very excited about that. This card, I'm pretty mixed on from what I've seen of it. So it is a 9 cost song that has Sing Together 9. Each player draws 2 cards and gains 2 lore. If you have 2 or more characters sing this song, ready them. They can't quest for the rest of this turn. So there is some cool stuff you can do with this, like being able to just straight up chain into these, right? You can use 2 characters, sing this, draw 2 cards, gain 2 lore, and then do it again. The big problem with this card is it does say each player. So that's going to mean if you are playing in a normal competitive game, your opponent is going to get just as much benefit out of this card as you, unless you can really highly leverage those cards, which is an important. But there's a world where I could see that this card actually is quite strong, but I'm very hesitant to let my opponent draw cards and gain 2 lore. Usually you want your sort of top end effects like this to be things that help you break parity, not keep it, and this does keep it to a certain extent. We will see if this ends up working good and ends up doing more than I think, but on my first read of the card, I'm not as high on this as I think some people are. Some people seem very excited about this one, so we'll see who's right in the course of time. The next one is Standout, which is another song from the Goofy movie. Goofy movie. Oh my goodness, I'm a bit of a mush mouth today. This is a 3 cost inkable song that can be sang for 3, obviously. That's what 3 cost song means. Anyways, chosen character gets 3 strength and gains evasive until the start of your next turn. This could be very interesting as a quick pump spell. The only thing that I really would have liked this card to say on it was draw a card or something. That's like where I just start to go, yeah, you can probably really play that. This, you really need the to want the ability to trade something in and really take benefit of that. So the first card that comes to mind if I'm gonna play this card is like a Diablo Obedient Raven, the 1 cost Amethyst one. That one card lets you cycle a card after you've traded it in with something like Standout on it. So this could be your crab effect at this point. We are losing crab in rotation as far as we know. So this could definitely be useful for that, especially if your opponent has random evasive guys, like one that we are going to talk about later that is quite powerful. I could see this card maybe being played, but I'm not very high on this effect currently. So we did get the introduction of Dumbo into Disney Lorcana, and the first reveal we got was Dumbo the Flying Elephant, who is a 2/2 for 3 inkable, who has evasive, and when you play this character, chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. So kind of a good way to at very least, if we're talking about limited, which we'll get to you obviously when we have pre-releases and stuff for the set, we have this way to hide our characters. I don't know about this Dumbo in Constructed. 3 cost 2/2, even with evasive, is a little bit kind of mid, especially now that we know the format is going to have Strength of a Raging Fire, so it is very easy to remove something like this tempo-wise. So, but we'll see. Very fun that we are getting this property in the game. I know a lot of people out there quite enjoyed Dumbo, and the art on this card is already very nice. I love, most Lorcana art is just, they're doing great stuff over there. I'm a big fan of a lot of it. But we do have a more exciting Dumbo we will get to soon. Next we have Timothy Q. Mouse, Flight Instructor. He is a 2 cost inkable 1/4 that has, while you have a character with evasive in play, this character gets +1 lore. So that means he can quest for 2 as a 1/4. This is a limited card, but he is cool for your Dumbo theme decks. Obviously, if you're like, I want to play a Dumbo deck, it seems like evasive is going to be the thing to do in that deck. So here you go. Here's your guy. Not a lot to this card, obviously. Just mouse, right? Just mouse. That's it. Next, we get into some big exciting stuff. And this is the Dumbo that I am very excited for. We got Dumbo, 9th Wonder of the Universe, 3/3, costs 4 inkable. has Evasive, and then he has Exert, pay 1, draw a card, and gain 1 lore. And your other characters with Evasive gain Exert, pay 1, draw a card, gain 1 lore, and he quests for 1. This card is very exciting. Red Purple Evasives, probably my most played deck all of the past 2 formats. Love that deck a lot. This card, he would see play in there if we had it. I don't know that we're gonna have it after rotation. My heart just makes me want to still do it, but we'll see what we can do. This card, though, very exciting. It doesn't take a lot for me to get excited about drawing cards and gaining lore all in one piece. Very excited about this card. Now, maybe as a little bit of a tag team partner, we have a reprint here, Aerial Adventurous Collector. She is a 3-cost 2/3 that has Evasive, so you can use your Dumbo effector there. And then whenever you play a song, chosen character of yours gains Evasive until the start of your next turn. So this is a card that didn't see a lot of play in the last formats that I have been a part of. I've been playing since set 4. Have not seen it. Every now and then it pops up in some like off meta Ruby Amber strategies, but it seems like red is going to be a song color going into this next set. We've got Powerline, and I'm sure we'll get something else to maybe go with her. So we'll see. These cards also noteworthy, obviously. Enchanteds, gorgeous Enchanteds. I love this Dumbo. I bet this is gonna look incredible in person. Can't wait. This is gonna be my Chase Enchanted, just incredible. And then obviously Ariel looks beautiful. We got Flounder, even if he's not for sure reprinted. Flounder reprint confirmed. Let's go, boys. Very exciting cards for this one. This is revealed from an Amazon product, I believe. So that's my take on some of the reveals that happened today. We got some pretty cool ones, and I'll be excited to kind of go over more reveals and spoilers after this next weekend here. So I'll probably do that at the end of one of my set champs videos that I do next week, or maybe I'll just do it in its own video. I'm not sure yet. But stay tuned for that, and I'm going to try to keep track as we get spoilers as the days come on, because I believe now if the past track record kind of shows, they're sort of going to trickle them out over the next while here, over the next until we get actual Fabled itself in our hands and opening packs, right? So this will be really exciting. So thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day.